Hey guys, it's me, and today we are going to do a very quick tip vlog. I got asked to show how to use yarn or string. I can't seem to find my string right now, which is really hemp cord, but using what I'm doing with these things, you'll be able to see and use hemp cord accordingly to what we do with the yarn. So one thing I want to show you, when you want to make texture stamps and you don't have the stuff, and you can use paints or markers or watercolor paints or whatever you have in order to do these. I'm going to start. It's just a piece of cardboard. I have cardboard from cereal boxes. I have cardboard from water bottles. I have cardboard from everything. So one thing I like to do is take rubber bands. And I'll take rubber bands and I'll double them around. Try to keep it as straight as you can. And it doesn't matter the texture. I'm going to show you a couple things to do with rubber bands. But as you can see, we just keep layering. You know, the more the better because you want it to be pronounced. And this is kind of curling up because it's getting tight and it's a thin piece of cardboard. So I'm just going to kind of work with it so it stays straight. Maybe put a piece of, because you want a good piece of card. I mean, this piece is like the end piece of cardboard. So it doesn't matter. We can use whatever side works the best. And that's the fun thing about doing this, is just randomly putting on rubber bands. And the thicker the better, obviously, because you'll get more of a texture. And this is just a fun way to play. Like I said, the tighter, you know, I would have probably used a bigger piece, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. I will lay one more right here and double it up. And maybe do one more just so it's thick. And you can use your sprays or you can use a stamp pad. We're gonna do both sides, so let's do this side first. I want it to stay flat if it will. Like I said, it gets tight because the rubber band and the cardboard I chose, of course, was. So we'll do this side first. It's kind of crappy, kind of thin, but you get the gist. You get the idea. You just put the rubber bands around it, and you just ink up wherever the ink touches, and then you'll just stamp it down, push it down, and you'll get these great marks. Now, it might not look anything to you, but if you use you stamp in and you're making mixed media pieces and you're adding these shapes and forms, they're organic, and I love that look. And when you're stuck for money and you can't afford, and you want to make your own stamps, which I love recycling, you're recycling. Now the other side we'll do. And we'll stamp that up. And the ink's only going to go where it's going to hit the paper. So all that is the rubber bands underneath. You know, that's why you kind of want to build up. You might even want to just do one layer of rubber bands all the way down and then start adding your texture. This I'm just very quickly, we're just doing a very quick. And you see, you just get, it's like different lines. And you can arrange these, like I said, any way that you want. So these are just rubber bands, very fun. Another fun thing to do with rubber bands is, well, I'll do it last because that way I can do the other things. This is a piece of cardboard with yarn on it. Now, what I suggest you do is, I should have glued the end in, but I tucked it in. When you're doing this, once you get your yarn wrapped around your cardboard how you want it, and if it's a piece that you love, take a little bit of matte medium or a spray, like a hairspray, a cheap hairspray you buy from the dollar store, or something to that effect, or spray glue like E6000 adhesive glue. Give it a quick spray so it kind of seals in that yarn, but you don't have to. And then I'm just going to take my ink, and this might take a couple of times of you inking up and stamping because, of course, it's a material and it's going to soak in a lot of the ink. So we have that. And we're going to do both sides, but I'm just And look at how cool. And like I said, the more ink, the better. If you use a little bit of colored watercolor paint and all that, you'll get a better texture. But look how cool the texture is. And like I said, you know, you get quite a few. And all I did on here was I wrapped one corner to corner, like 3 or 4 times. Then I wrapped going this way 3 or 4 times. And then I wrapped going this way again 3 or 4 times. So that's on that side. This side's a little more being a little rebel and sticking out everywhere, but let's see what we get. So that's all you do. And like, glue your ends in, staple your ends in, whatever you want. Like I said, I'm not spending a lot of time putting ink on it. I just want to give you an idea. And you can see it gives you definite. And now, you know, depending on, this is a one of those yarns that are like a fluffy thing. This isn't a straight yarn. So if you use a regular straight acrylic yarn, polyester yarn or whatever, you'll get a different look. So, but as you can see, and I'm using black, so it doesn't add much, but between the rubber bands and that, you're going to get some great looks. Now, if you have time and patience and fanciness, you can do a lot of things. You can take your cardboard and you can take your yarn and you can make it into shapes. Any kind of shapes that you want. I have the patience of not a lot. But what I did do is I glued this down on here. It's probably getting on my ink pad because it's not all the way dry. But I did glue this on here. And it's going to have some fuzziness, which you can always cut off or it'll add to the texture. But just load up. Should have let it dry, but you'll see. And then just push it down. It's better to do these things one day, leave them dry overnight, and come back, because like I said, my glue's still a little wet, but you can see the texture that you get. You can see the whole rounded way. So you could take your glue, and it could be hot glue, and you can glue them strings going this way. So you have a texture that way. You can have them strings going this way. You can have just any wild designs, and it's awesome. So those are different ways. Also, another thing I've shown you guys before is fun foam. Take a pencil, take a pen, whatever you have, and go in and draw something, anything that you want. And like I said, use a pen, use a pencil. You just want the marks. I have so many of these kind of stamps. You can even color in his little eyes with your pencil. So when it stamps, of course, this is quick. Let me find a different clear page because we'll just use this yucky page. And then you go, yeah, I got glue on my thing. Then you go and you put your stamp or whatever you're using, you know, your stamp pad or whatever. And you stamp down. And you lift up and you have your stamp that you drew. And that's in your fun foam. So you can draw anything from faces to owls to designs. But some fun things I like to do. Let me just get the rest of that off there. I love doing the fun foam things. Some things that I love to do are I like to take my rubber bands and I like to throw them all over wherever they land. Big, little, crooked, I don't care. See how thin that was? It broke. That was my fault. and just throw them around. And I like to take my spray, whatever spray you have, made, handmade or not. Give it a quickie. I leave it sit for a minute. Put your heat gun on it if you want. If not, you don't have to. And then pick off your rubber bands. And they're so cheap. You can get them at the dollar store. And it adds such a great look. I love it. And look how cheap and easy. And you just made a great part of a great mixed media background because you're using, you're just using rubber bands. How simple and easy. Now we can spray. Let's spray our yarn thing. Let's see what it comes up as. It's posted here. And look how cool that is. Can you see? Came out really cool. Let me do it on this page so you guys can see better. And I'll bring it down to that corner. A little more spray. And you can use your homemade spray or watercolor paint or whatever. And we're just using it on our yarn, giving it a quick push. And look, you get a great, and we'll print a few times. You can use your squiggly line one. Lift it up. And you can see, now the glue needs to dry a little bit more, so when I push it down a little bit, you see a little smush right there. I'm not worried about that with my hands. But you can see, if you just lightly push it down, it just comes, like I said, it needs to dry. But you can make wonderful designs with these things. So, like I said, just putting some yarn around a piece of cardboard and using your homemade sprays that you make, how can you go wrong? How can you go wrong? I don't know what it would do on here. If we get into the things or make the owl poke out. Let's see. Nope. Just smears all around. Yep, no cute owl. Only with ink. So, those are a few quickies to make your own kind of thing. Glue your yarn on a piece of cardboard or hemp string or whatever you have. Wrap it around a few times. You get great designs, and you can make up designs. You can do, like I said, do them straight lines going all across. Glue it on. Do circles or do whatever. I mean, just use your imagination and make your own stamps that way. Like I said, you have texture here that now can be used for whatever. So keep your mind open because there's just so many things you can use, and you can get, sometimes at the dollar store they sell yarn, so you can buy like cheap yarn and use that just for making your stamps. So it's a lot of fun. Really, just think outside your, just think like, what you can really achieve and what you can do. And the more patience you have, really, the better you are, because I have no patience. So, but yeah, there's definitely ways that you can definitely use yarn. And like I said, rubber bands and just something so simple as throwing a handful of rubber bands down, like on this page. Look how cool. Now, if you throw rubber bands down again and do another color, and just kind of throw them down. What's my other color? Pink. And just give it a quick spray. Yeah, it doesn't have to be everywhere. And then lift them off. Look at what you get. You got a great, fantastic background to start with. And all it is rubber bands. So definitely think about that. Use that in your journal. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, you know, a lot of you are making your own sprays now, which I'm thrilled to death. You guys are rocking it. And once this is dry, you can even go and trace out those circles and decorate around them and make it an abstract piece. It doesn't matter. So have a blast with these. And I hope that you learned a few things. And thanks for sticking around for my quickie. I hope you enjoyed it. Be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. And stay tuned because this week coming up, Monday, we're choosing our amazing Clearcast winner, and we are starting our new Christmas mixed media piece. So I will see you guys then. And don't forget to add me to your circles on Google because a lot of people can't comment, and I can't comment back if we're not friends on Google for some reason now. So if I don't get back to you right away, understand that I might not be getting your stuff yet. So I just want you guys to know. So you can always email me at knittingandthings@netzero.com or email me on YouTube. You go to your video manager section, and on the side, left-hand side all the way down, it says inbox, and you can inbox me there. So, or go to my about section, and it has my where to reach me on YouTube. So thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.